Last time we made some stockings to hang on one of the walls, and this time we will create a wreath to hang on the other wall. Disconnect the nodes we have for now. We will create the wreath in 3 steps. First we will create a leaf, then we will distribute that leaf on a torus, and finally, we will distribute some balls on the wreath for some extra color. So, start by adding a mesh line. Then add a mesh to curve node, followed by a curve to mesh node, with fill caps enabled. For the profile curve, we will use a quadrilateral. What we want to do now is make the bottom and top part smaller, and there is a useful curve node called setCurveRadius that we can use for that. Add a math node set to sign, with clamp enabled, and an index node. Connect the index node to the sign node, and then connect the sign node to the radius socket of the setCurveRadius node. If we add a math node set to multiply between the index node and the sign node, we can adjust the length of the sine wave. Once we have something that looks like a leaf, we can use a transform node to adjust the width and thickness of the leaf by adjusting the x and y scale. To finish off the leaf, let's create a new material called leaf, and use a set material node to apply the material to the leaf geometry. In the shading workspace, select the leaf material and set the color to a somewhat dark green, and set the roughness to 1. Select the leaf nodes and create a new node group, and name it leaf. Disconnect the leaf group and add a curve circle, followed by a curve to mesh node with fill caps enabled, then add another curve circle as a profile curve. Decrease the radius of the curve circle to 0.3. To distribute the leaf on the torus, add a distribute points on faces node, an instance on points node, and a join geometry node. Connect the leaf group to the instance socket of the instance on points node and set the scale to 0.05. Before we adjust the distribution, let's fix the rotation of the leaves. Add an align Euler to vector node set to C. Connect the normal output of the distribute points on faces node to the vector socket of the align Euler node, and then connect that node to the rotation socket of the instance on points node. Next we need to randomize the rotations a bit. Add a rotate instance node, a combine XYZ node, and a random value node. Connect the random value node to the x and y sockets of the combine XYZ node, and then connect that node to the rotation socket of the rotate instances node. Set the max value of the random value node to 5.5. Once we are happy with the rotations, let's add some randomness to the scale of the leaves too. Add a scale instances node and a random value node. Connect the random value node to the scale socket of the scale instances node. We don't need a combine XYZ node for this, since we want to scale the leaves equally on all axes. Set the min value of the random value node to 0.25 and the max value to 1. Finally, let's adjust the distribution by changing from random to Poisson disk in the distribute points on faces node, and setting the density max value to 500. Let's also set the material of the torus to the same as the leaf, to hide the gaps a bit. Lastly, let's add some colored balls to get some more details. Add a UV sphere, a distribute points on faces node, and an instance on points node, and connect the UV sphere to the instance socket of the instance on points node. Set the scale of the instance on points node to 0.12, and change the distribution of the distribute points on faces node to Poisson disk, and set the distance min value to 0.45. Add a set material node to the balls and select the ball material that we used for the balls in the Christmas tree. At the end of the nodes, add a transform node and set the X rotation to 90. Then select the nodes and create a new node group. And name it wreath. Reconnect the nodes from before and connect the wreath group to the join geometry node to add it to the scene. Add a transform node and scale, rotate and position it on the empty wall. And with that, our room is ready. So select all the nodes and create a new node group. And name it Room Deco. Reconnect the other nodes with the Join Geometry node. Add a transform node after the Room Deco group and set the Z rotation to -45, so that our scene is positioned in the corner of the room. And that's it for the decorations. Next time we will add some text to make the scene look like a Christmas card. See you then.